It's Friday, and you know what that means. Time for another episode of Cards to Watch. Today is Friday the 13th, and no, we're not watching horror movies because they scare me. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks for hanging out with me today as we go into another episode of Cards to Watch, because that's what happens on Fridays. And don't forget my Saturday Hot Top 10 video, and of course the Sunday Reserve List Hot Top 10. Can't wait to see your comments there, guys. So when we're talking about cards to watch, these are cards for some reason that have had movement that I've been tracking, and I'm showing some either sales figures that are positive or negative, cards you might want to buy, cards you might want to avoid. So let's just jump into this video. Let's have some fun with it, and I can't wait to see your comments in the comments section. Let's have a good time. So our first card we're talking about today is Yogmoth, Tharn Physician from Modern Horizons. Now I've been mentioning a few of the Modern Horizons cards, guys, because it's out of print. It's the first time it was ever printed. And a lot of these cards are really starting to spike in value, as you can see by the chart here in front of you. Now, he's a 2 casting cost, 2 other, 2/4. It's kind of mediocre, you'd think. But he has protection from humans. You can pay a life and sacrifice another creature and put a -1/-1 on a target creature and draw a card. Now, in my Throwbold deck, which is my Thralls and Kobolds, which have a lot of 0 casting cost things, he's going to make a perfect addition in my deck. At least I think he will. Please let me know what you guys think about that, because I'm having a lot of 0 casting costs and token making generation that I think he'll work well, but I'd like to hear other people's opinions as I'm still new to Commander. Now at $55 Canadian, he's already kind of high. I remember him being as low as like $18, so he's really come a long way in the last couple of years. He is seeing play in a multitude of decks, and look at the foils there at almost $100 Canadian, $76.50 US. $76.50 is a lot, guys. Add that 25% kind of US tax to Canadian dollar, and we're talking like a $100 plus card. Here in Canada right now, it's $55 for a non-foil one, and that's fine if you just want a copy to play with. But as I've said before, we're not seeing a lot of Modern Horizons crack now, are we? Because it's approaching that $400 a box. So when you're talking $400, you're talking that sweet spot where a lot of people are not going to be messing around opening it en masse. It's starting to cost a lot of money. And every time somebody does and they don't crack something good, it means they're less likely to open it next time. So something to keep in mind when we're looking at Modern Horizons cards. If you see a good deal on some cards, I do recommend picking up quite a few of them. And there's more on the list today. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next card today. And that, of course, is Urza, Lord High Artificer. Now, Artificer, whatever you want to call it. Modern Horizons as well. $80 Canadian, guys. He's had love-hate up and down. I remember him being that $35 mark. He's one of those cards that I had a hard time cracking when I opened all those Modern Horizons packs back in the day. I have lots of videos on it. You guys can go back and look at my early videos. You'll see I was opening packs every day on the channel trying to get him until I finally got a pack with him in it. Again, he's not a particularly powerful card for casting costs. He costs 4 like Yogmoth, of course. But it's what he does. And when we're taking into account what treasure tokens can be generated now, and the fact he can tap artifacts to get blue mana, his generation for mana is insane with treasure tokens. So keep that stuff in mind. If you don't have one, I do recommend picking one up. He could be a card that gets reprinted in some double, triple Flip Masters type sets at that mythic level, or expect to see him in Modern Horizons 3, because they're going to need to have cards like this getting reprinted. He's bouncing up too high, and even these spikes that go up, down, he is settling far higher than I think Wizards expected. So this guy's going to have some serious action in the next 24 months. Keep an eye on it. The average price is $67.31. A foil, look at that. $129, guys. Insanity. And €47.16 to get that card in your house. He's the artifact master for a reason. He is Urza. And we can actually play with him. And it's not a jokey version. So it's awesome. I can't wait to see what happens with this card in the next little while. I'm glad I have one, because I figured that's all I need. But we're going to see more of this guy. That's for sure. All right. The Seasoned Pyromancer. I am lucky enough to have opened a whole bunch of this card. I have a lot of them sitting in a binder that I kind of ignored. And I thought was kind of cool, but I didn't do anything with it. But now that I have my Throwbold deck, he's another card I'm thinking about adding in. At $65 Canadian near mint. This guy has shot up massively since his first time I saw him, he was like a $10, $12 card. He has come so far in the last couple of years that you got to respect what's going on. A foil is $114.04 US. These kind of Modern Horizons prices are going to cause that box to go up even further for the sealed product. So it's just like, okay, this is what's happening out there. If it gets to the point where we have too many of these high cost cards that haven't been reprinted and they don't get a reprint, people might be able to actually open boxes and make profit even when it's $400 a box. So that's crazy, but that's where things are headed. Way to go, Seasoned Pyromancer, and every other awesome card from Modern Horizons. You deserve to be here. Okay, Elspeth Knight Errant. Now, I did this on purpose today. Guilds of Ravnica, Mythic Edition. The Mythic Edition cards are having unusual movement across a multitude of platforms. I see it on a lot of store buy lists. I see a lot of players talking about them, wanting to pick them up, looking for sealed ones, regular ones, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. They are desirable cards that people want to get their hands on. I actually have one. I have this one. That's why I put it up. And I have it for my commander deck. My commander deck with Angels has this in it as kind of like a bling card. I bought it purposely to put it in because I like, tokens and generation creatures and stuff. But I never thought it was going to shoot this high. So it's kind of awesome to see what these cards are doing and to see the interest in the unique cards that have come out from Wizards like this. For a while there, people didn't care about the Mythic Edition. They thought it was a joke. They didn't like the Karn with like the kilt thing on. But look where things are going, people. Look what's happening. If you have these cards, I recommend holding on to them and seeing where they go, because I think they're going to go up. I'm glad I have at least one. There are a couple that are cheap still for like 30, 40 bucks. You can look around if you want to get one, but a lot of them are going higher than that. So keep an eye on this ball because it is definitely in play. Okay, our next card, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria from Dominaria. This card has recently started spiking up. Now I remember going up, down, over 60 bucks. I paid, I think, $65 for mine because I didn't have even one. I never cracked any from Dominaria for some reason. So I went out and purchased it along with a Karn. I think I paid 60, 65 bucks each. This card is $43 Canadian near mint. You see the foil is 58.08 US. €28.59 to get that card to your house. Now, it's been as high as the $60 mark, but recently it has started to spike with a whole bunch of sales across multiple platforms. This card could not make my regular top 10 video, the hot top 10. It's not going to be in the hundreds and hundreds of sales. But seeing 150, 200 sales of this card is enough for me to worth mentioning it to you, putting on the cards to watch, saying if you have this card, you might want to keep an eye on it because its value could be climbing and making it more desirable for trade-in or for resale. And if you don't have one and are thinking of getting one, you might want to splurge and get one now in case it starts crawling up past that $50 US mark again. Okay, guys? Just something to keep your eyes on. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, what can I say? It's a fun card. I'm glad I have at least one. Okay. Sunbait Canyon, as well as all the lands that cycle from Modern Horizons, have all been moving. The sales are up. They are desired. People want them. It is definitely a card to hold on to. If you have it, watch it go higher. But at the same time, it has a card that has value. If you have tons of them, you might want to trade some in. Modern Horizons lands were desirable from day one because of their cycling ability. Yeah, they ping you for 1 damage, but who cares? Because games are over so fast, it shouldn't really negate anything you're trying to do in a modern deck. The average price is $20.69 US. Here in Canada, 27 bucks per land if you want to buy it locally. Foils are 55 bucks and up. These cards are just something that you can't ignore. You see that value and you understand where you're going with it. Modern Horizons has tons of built-in, packed-in value from the rares, Force of Negation onward, to all these lands, to the mythics inside the set like Urza, as well as Yogmoth. Guys, it's nuts. Ren and 6, anybody? This stuff is happening, okay? And as a person who opened 3 Force of Negations inside one box that one time, and I have it on video, you guys can go back and find it. That's kind of insane. This stuff happens. All right, now, I messed this one up, so pardon me as I stretch it out. I must not have prepared this screen for you guys. How rude of me. All right, Yogmoth Cradle of Growth looks like it is bottomed out. Now, you can find it for $18 Canadian locally, but if you go on TCG Player, you can probably get it for 13 bucks Canadian, okay? Average price $10.46. Market is $9.59, a foil is $14.04, and it's €7.67 to get that card into your house. Remember this moment. I'm mentioning it now. I'm lucky. I've got 2 play sets plus a couple of spares laying around, but I got my foil retro edition ones, and I'm happy. And if I ever get the chance to buy more, and they're 20, 25 bucks, I'm picking them up. But this is the bottom, I think. This is as low as it's going to go. This is the bottom of the barrel. And when you're at the bottom of the barrel looking onward, guess what? It has one place to go, which is up. And there's nothing saying it will, but I'm willing to take the chance that it will. So I will be picking up some more if I come across them at a store. I'll be happy to grab them for that $10 to $15, $20 range. If I'm desperate, I may pick some up on TCG Player just to have for multiple decks and for trading value, things like that for my patrons. Just some fun stuff in case they do shoot up. It makes it a great prize. This card goes to 25, 30 bucks and I pick them up for 10. It makes it a very nice prize for a lucky patron. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our next card today, and that is going to be Yogmoth Triome. All right, these have had a lot of sales in the last few days, and they could make the hot top 10 this week if it continues at this rate and this pace. $21 Canadian for a near mint copy. You see the foils are $16 US, €12.87 to get that card in your house, but it's slowly trending upward, okay? Ikoria Triomes, it just seems like they're all starting to trend that direction. And we're going to go over the next few of these are all the Triomes, guys. You'll see them here on the next one. The Savvy Triome, okay? $21. Look at that curve of the bar. Look at it slow. $21 Canadian. The foil's $18.09. Some of the color combinations are more desirable than others. I admit that. But when you see this stuff going on, you think of cards like Void Rend and some of the new cards from New Capenna, certain combinations are going to work very well together in deck creations for Commander, Modern. They're going to have a good time. Pioneer. I like what I'm seeing, guys. It's kind of fascinating to see these kind of sales happening this late in the week. You have to watch the hot top 10, and we'll see how far it goes. Right now, they're trending the 200 plus copies sold, but that was at like 9 o'clock this morning when I checked it. So I'm going to keep tracking to see if these things actually crack the top 10. It'll be a fascinating thing to see if older lands like this can push up and actually crack that $400 or $500 to kind of get on that $400 or $500 copies to get on there. Now, the Ragoon Triome is the same thing. Look at that trend upward. Remember when these things were $4 and $5 and I told people to buy them? Now we're looking at $23 Canadian near mint. And by the way, it says here foil's like 18, and these are the non-fancy versions. When you get the alternate comic style, full art, kind of foily flash, you're talking 60, 65 bucks. And they're not going to be reprinting them anytime soon. Okay? I think we had the secret layer of them, right? But after that, they're going to make them special lands in special sets only. I don't see them coming back to a standard set anytime soon, unless we're going back to Ikoria in the next 24 to 48 months, guys. This is how it's going. Oh, look, it's the Catcher Triome. And it's the exact same thing, except for it's $24 Canadian here to get it. $19.99 for a foil US. And it's €13.89 to get this card into your house. Guys, insanity ensues. When we know what these were at, we know the prices they were hanging in at for that first 4 or 5 months, and look what's happened to us. I love it. It just proves that some of my tracking and data is perfect, and I love it because it's letting me track other cards that I can tell you guys about. And so far, it's working well. All right, Indrathi Triome, same thing, guys. You notice it trended down, and it's been going up. Now, this one is one of the cheaper ones to get, which is interesting. The mana combination is not as desirable. It seems to be a little bit lower, but it's not cheap by any means, is it? It's still in that price range of $15 plus tax. That's like $18 Canadian. A foil is like $12, like $17, $18. Actually, I think here it's like $22, but I think they're all sold out locally. All right, guys, this is what I'm talking about. When you see all these cards to watch each week, and you see the sales figures, depending on which position you're in, are you a buyer? Are you a seller? Are you holding for a long time? Are you using for deck creation? If you're using for deck creation, you're just going to hold them. It's nice to know your cards have value. It's a good thing. It is something to keep an eye on in case you decide to trade them in at some point. If you're a person who needs to buy these cards and needs to reach out and grab some, makes you wonder how high they're going to go. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't see a reprint coming. Not soon enough. Not for the next 24 months to help you out. And if that's not going to happen, then you need to figure out what you want to do. Maybe you have to trade some other cards in to get a couple of these. Maybe it's just for a commander deck. But either way, if you don't have any yet and you needed some, I get it. Price sucks. It's gone a little bit higher. I don't see Wizards coming to save us anytime soon. Guys, I hope you had a great time with the video today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Can't wait to see you guys all tomorrow. It's going to be epic. We got the Saturday Hot Top 10. All right, have a great one today. Enjoy. Because Magic. Bring a friend to Magic. Have a good time. It's what we deserve to do. It's the weekend. Hey guys, a big shout out to all my patrons out there. Patrons rock! And if you're hoping to get a Patreon slot on my Patreon, there are 1 or 2 slots available, I believe. You just got to keep up and keep looking. Have a great one, everyone. You guys feel like cheating today? I feel like cheating. Now, we have our live stream on Sunday. You guys know that, right? See? Remember this? If you guys watch, I put a couple of cards in here, or a couple of things, every week. And if anyone who spends over $100 just gets this for free. But nobody ever knows what's in it until the end of a video. But the same things are in from the week before. I'm going to let you know what's going in this week ahead of time to see who watched to the end of the video. So, and please don't tell anyone. Don't ruin it. So I'm putting in an Oblivion Sower. And you remember this card from back in the day? Valakut Awakening. Which are like $7. I don't know what the Oblivion Sower is, but I think Valakut's like almost like $10 Canadian now. Do you remember when it was $1? And people were like, oh, it's a dumb card. Remember $1? You guys, come on. Taco Bell remembers, right? Nachos and cheese remembers when that was $1. Isn't that like one of the Rudy things to say? So I'm talking about. So those 2 bad boys are, I need a sleeve or something, but they are going in the box. That's what's happening. So if you guys didn't see that, now you have. Here, let me just. They're going in, and that way you'll know what value is going in there. So eventually, I think what will happen is there'll be so much value in here, somebody's just going to buy it because it's going to be well over the value to get it, for those who are looking for those cards anyway. Interesting times. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Oh, what's that? You wanted to know about a 10K card as well? You're being greedy today? Don't worry. I got your +2 mace right here. +2 mace. I know, minor magical item. It's not sentient. It doesn't have any cool Vorpal abilities, but you know what? It's going to get by because it's still +2 mace. +2 to hit, +2 damage. Always a good thing. For 2nd edition rules only. Have a great one, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow.